Hi. Okay, so this is me ending the day's flight session. Yeah, that sound in the wood is just scary. This is how the day started. I pitched down the main wing to 8 degrees from 10 degrees, and I'm still running the 12 by 12 inch propellers there for a hover efficiency test. So the 12 by 12 propellers are not good enough for actually flying this machine around, but with the batteries fresh of the charger, I can still manage and hover so I can take a measurement. And as it turns out, the efficiency is starting to drop off pretty drastically. So I'm like up 30% in power consumption in a hover compared to the 14-degree setting. But the dynamics change quite drastically, as you will see in a moment here. So now I'm switching out these 12 by 12 to the homemade version. It's the drone propeller, 17-inch, cut down in half, and I have made the pitch coarser, so it corresponds to 13 or 14 inch, and I did also cut down the diameter of the propeller, so it's down to 12 inches, so it corresponds to the size of the previous propellers, just a little bit coarser pitch, which allows me to fly the battery down to 3.7 volts per cell, which I couldn't do with the 12 by 12 propellers. And the dynamics is so much better. So I didn't even once during this flight session manage to fly it fast enough to have it flat back due to the dissymmetry of lift. So the physics is of course still there, so it's just a matter of having a larger space to fly at. But the thing is, it was super easy to make it flat back in previous setting, and now I can really start whipping it around. And I can say that it's more like to fly an airplane now. It's not as much just like a heavy drone. It has sort of a glide. You can almost glide it. So that's sort of weird, but I guess that is the structure reaching some sort of translational lift. So it starts to be more efficient. So I can sort of throttle down and you can hear it's a different sound and it's more swooshy and it's really joyful to fly it. It was nice to fly it in a previous iteration as well, but now it's even more like rewarding. It's yeah, it feels so good to control it. So I was like, I couldn't really stop. I was just going back and forth there and just enjoying the craft. And it's a little bit twitchy when you change direction fast, and when you speed it up, it gets a little bit unbalanced. And I guess that might be the gains setting are not like matched to the higher rotational speed, which gives the control surfaces more authority. So I guess I would have to like lower the gains perhaps, but still it's just a delight to fly. So that's for future testing to do that. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, you do trade off vertical authority by going down in pitch, but you gain so much speed and agility, so it's just totally worth it. You just have to be a little bit ahead of the craft to avoid getting in like a sinking situation where you get caught in your own downdraft and you have a hard time arresting the fall. But you can always fly out of it if you have like space around you to do that. But it is easy to get sort of surprised by that you speed up the motors as much as you can. You hear the system is spinning faster, but it still don't generate enough lift to arrest the descent. And that is of course what you saw in the beginning of this video. And it's of course more accentuated when the battery voltage is going down, so your maximum RPM of the motor is also down significantly compared to the freshly charged cells. Yeah, so that was one of those situations where I barely could make it, go up again. And that's a good thing with doing this radio control. You can really go to the limit of the flight envelope, and you can push it a little bit more just to see where the limit actually was, and how it behaves if you like go over the limit. So that's what I'm doing next. It really sounded like, I don't know, earthquake. So you'd think that the craft was totally destroyed, but one wing is actually totally unaffected, and the next wing has the motor mount slightly knocked loose, but it's like, yeah, and as you can see, it has happened before, so it's an easy fix. And the last wing there got so forceful G-loading, so yeah, knocked off totally, but it's an easy fix anyway to repair that. So, and the motor still spins good, so a cheap fix. Okay, yeah. So obviously, I do want to combine the dynamics of the 8-degree wing setting. It's just so joyful, and it feels so efficient to fly it forward. So I really want that. And at the same time, I want the hover efficiency of the 14-degree wing, or perhaps even 15 or so. Yeah, and someone commented that I might just, invent a swash page soon here. But well, the thing is, the wing is braced, so it's not super easy to pitch the wings. But the bracing gives you the possibility to change the angle of attack by making these cables here shorter or longer. So I'm thinking about using these linear actuators to pull the leading edge string from the bottom there, and have the leading edge go a little bit up and down. The trailing edge where the rudder sits, I want to keep that stiff so that I don't have any negative effects from using the rudders or the control surfaces. So that might be a test I'm doing. So by rigging the aircraft so that when everything is in stiff tension, you have, say, a 8-degree angle of attack of the wings, and when you extend the actuators, you let the leading edge wires on the top get slightly slacked, and the aerodynamic forces pitches the wings up until the bottom wire to the leading edge is in tension again, and that setting should be like 14 degrees or so pitch on the wings. And I don't know if the wire on the top side can be slack and just bowing slightly in the wind, or if you have to have that like in tension via a secondary sets of linear actuators, or like springs or something like that. Yeah, just check this out. It flies so good with this 8-degree pitch setting on the wings. It's just a joy to fly it around. But again, I don't want to lose that 30% energy when I'm in a hover. I mean, if you can fly for an hour to lose like almost 20 minutes flight time with a fixed pitch setting, that would be like too bad. So I would really like to try to to invent the collective pitch. So that's up next. Well, okay, that's all for this update here. But yeah, just check this out. Ooh, it's so nice. Okay, bye.